Blood Bowl fans, for my penultimate game to try and qualify for the playoffs, I'm facing the Lizardmen team that has been placing around my position in the league table. So this is a downright hardcore finale, and as I know he likes to foul even more than me, I opted to spend my treasury on getting a biased referee to come along for the game. Facing a heap of strength 4 Saurus blockers and a Croxigore, both with high armor values, this wouldn't be a match I probably scored a 2 casualty bonus points. But I did have a plan, and that is to assassinate his skinks as soon as possible, to lay low his point scoring chances and then try to score myself. The Flamesmiths will have to do their best to fireball down any Saurus blockers in front of them. The teams deployed, with the Violators having to make the kickoff for the game, deploying deep to try and intercept any slippery skinks. The ball ended behind the Lizardman line in reach of the Chameleon skink, and the Lizardmen with all their high strength managed to knock over my full front line as well as reach Fix-It. They killed the Stabba, but luckily the Apothecary managed to change this to badly hurt and pump him full of painkillers to continue the game, but definitely not the start we were looking for. The skink started to swarm over on my right side, bringing the Chameleon with the ball forward, as the Violators moved in to try and close the gap, however, and stop the advance. Seeing the imminent danger, the Chameleon moved with the ball towards the center of the pitch instead, as the wall of Saurus warriors held any attempts to get to the ball at bay. Slowly and surely they pushed the Chaos Dwarf line back and opened it a bit though. And when my right flank collapsed, they streamed back into the hole that had been formed there, using their superior speed compared to my Dawizar. Trying to stop them, Cojones Grande slipped over however, preventing some additional muscle to get to the flank. Croxigore blitzed Stevenons to make do with the last resistance on the side as the blockers kept being smashed over to the 2 block advantage Saurus warriors, unable to hold the line. And as the skink took the ball, he ran towards the end zone. However, Cojones Grande managed to push him away with a last moment blitz, long-lived strip ball. The ball scattering into my end zone as the Bull Centaur failed to pick up the ball that scattered onto him. Here we go again. And the little skink got up again, dodged around the lumbering Bull Centaur and scored the 1-0 for the Lizardmen. Sigh. As a result, we lined up for a fresh drive with 3 turns remaining on the clock for the first half. The initial push went good, opening up one side of the field and pushing some of his high-strength beasts over, but not out of the fight unfortunately. Numbers had collected the ball and managed to pass the ball to the raging train wreck, and the Bull Centaur broke through the Lizardman line, running into the outfield towards the end zone. And while some skinks tried to stop him, he actually dodged away from them with a blitz and put a 1-1 equalizer on the board right before first half ended. For the start of the second half, we would be the receiving side again, and the goal was to get 2 or 3 of his players at least stunned to force an early hole in his line. This worked on the flank, Numbers once more passing the ball to the raging train wreck, but I didn't have enough players around to try and protect him decently, and a line of Saurus moved in front of him, thus the Lizardman team nearly all came over to the flank to stop the beast. He decided to switch flanks as Cojones Grande had an open lane in front of him. However, to be clear of an opposing blitz and to be able to go hand over the ball next turn, he needed to make a 3 going for it, falling over with a reroll from sure feet on the last one, and injuring himself in the process. And this would turn out to be the pivotal moment in the game. From then on, the Lizardmen constantly started to roll 10s and 11s on both arm rolls and injury rolls, and casualty after casualty of the Violators was carried off the pitch, while the skinks ran through to collect the ball, now alone behind my line. A lone Stabba tried his best to stop them, even injuring one with a block. Ironically, the daggers hadn't penetrated a single armor value 8 during the whole game, but there were too many of the little pests. A blocker and a Flamesmith joined the raging train wreck in the injury box as well, and when the Stabba was smashed over, the Chameleon skink took off with the ball, scoring the 2-1 lead for the Lizardmen. And again I only had 3 turns to try and equalize, but I was starting to get actually down on players. So the 8 brave survivors took to the field for the drive, luckily joined by my 2 knocked out hobgoblins who woke up and returned to the field. Setting up, the ball scattered to, of course, right between my players instead of onto them in an attempt to be able to get them immediately. Cojones Grande broke away, hoping Numbers could do the sheer impossible in the final turn, as it was my only chance for the 2-2. But it was not to be, as by dodging in, picking up and passing was too much with all the surrounding tackle zones, and failing to pick the ball up, it scattered away and my last chance melted as snow for the sun. To add insult to injury, his last turn went like his very first, killing my stab at Divanons, and with no apothecary present, I suffered my first death of the league. With no less than 7 injuries this game, this was something I didn't have before in any game, and that was a slight disaster. And so the game ended with a 2-1 defeat. A full injury box, it really was wet paper skin in the second half, and a dead stabba. This one had been replaced with a fresh one already, and Fix-It obtained block, which is handy for the dagger wielders. But I will be missing 2 of my blockers in the final game against the halflings. Add to this that I've dropped back to 8th on equal points with the Lizardmen, but only 4 points clear of the human team that still has 3 games to go. This might be the game that I lost qualification, unless I can reel in a maximum 5-point result against those halflings. This league is turning out too close for comfort, that's for sure. So see me next time for my final battle, and then, well, maybe until the playoffs, or maybe not. We'll see, bye bye.